USA, USA, USA. Navy beats Air Force 34-31. Army off this weekend. So when Army and Navy play a couple months from now, which will also be on CBS, we're on CBS today, 15 minutes away from kick with the blue and white Penn State Lions and the hosting UCLA Bruins at the Rose Bowl. So thanks for tuning in and listening. But yeah, Army Navy come mid-December, right before Christmas, in the Army Navy game will decide the Commander-in-Chief trophy. So Navy undefeated, as Penn State was entering last weekend, but fell to Oregon at home in the whiteout in double overtime by your final score of 30-24. So first Saturday now in October as this 2025 college football season rolls on. We'll wrap up these 12 noon games from Navy defeating Air Force. We have Georgia up on Kentucky, Clemson up on North Carolina, and Michigan up on Wisconsin as well. So 3 of the 4 home teams will win. Clemson at North Carolina, so they'll get the road win. But coming up at 3:30 here, as the alma maters for the Air Force Academy and the Naval Academy are being played in the background. So if you're any noise with the audio other than my voice, let alone a fan running or dogs barking, that's what that is. Like I said, we'll have kick coming up here shortly. Sticking with it on CBS with Penn State and UCLA meeting for the second consecutive year after the Big Ten realigned with college football the way it is nowadays. But and Penn State actually last year played all 4 of the newcomers from the Pac-12, and now obviously are coming off the Oregon loss last weekend as well. They won't play USC or Washington this year unless, that happens in the Big Ten championship game or the college football playoff for that matter, which we'll get more into all that in a little bit. But you know how it is with these military academies facing off against each other. You want to sing second because obviously that means you won. USA, 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 though. Land of the free, because of the brave. Shout out to our troops, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Thank you for your service. But from the 12 noon window here, the game's coming up at 3:30 that we'll be keeping tabs on. Obviously, Penn State, UCLA, as I'll have live play watch along reactions live right here on YouTube in a matter of minutes. So thanks for tuning in and listening, audio only, this afternoon. And then we'll stick with it on ABC as well. Vandy's at Alabama. Also in the SEC, Texas in the swamp, taking on the Florida Gators. And then we'll stay in Big Ten country, but ACC independent Notre Dame, they'll be at home against Boise State, who, those were the last 2 games for Penn State last season. Obviously, they beat Boise in the Fiesta Bowl before losing to the Fighting Irish in the Orange Bowl in the Final Four before OHIO made the Catholics pray on their knees, winning the national championship to cap off 24. Here we are in 25. Penn State, like I said, they were undefeated entering last weekend, but lost 30-24 at home in the whiteout in double overtime to the Oregon Ducks. So we'll move on. So let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. I will be looking live at the Rose Bowl in a matter of moments, in which Penn State will be at UCLA today. on CBS. So, yes, thank you for tuning in and listening. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia of Sports, Cohen Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Hit the thumbs up button. Share hashtag college football, hashtag Penn State. Chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers, super likes, super thanks. Always greatly appreciated as well. As this video is powered by Rogue Energy, HopeKThrifts, and Dead and Hungry. First off with Rogue Energy. Be sure to get your favorite energy and hydration flavors in can or tub form, shakers, and Rogue Energy merch at the link in the description below. Be sure to use code Luke, that's Luke123 for 10% off. HopeKThrifts second resale shop that focuses on staying in the environment in a cheap and fashionable way, as most items are $20 or less and include brands like Converse, Free People, and Shein, among others. HopeKThrifts found on Depop, Instagram, Macari, and Poshmark at, yes, you guessed it, HopeKThrifts. It's HopeKThrifts. HopeKThrifts, so be sure to use the message seller code CHEAPTHRIFTS, CHEAPTHRIFTS, CHEAPTHRIFTS for 10% off. Link also in the description below. And then Dead and Hungry, a novel written by Nathan D. Mitchell, found on Amazon, so you go check that out. Over on Amazon, if that doesn't interest you, you might as well be what the title says. Links in the description below for Rogue Energy, HopeKThrifts, and Dead and Hungry. And normally for video, live play, watch along reaction stream, I would now be saying also, if you haven't done so already, to be sure to scan the QR code behind me. But since we've got a black screen and audio only this afternoon, I would also say during the video, though, if you don't want to or can't scan the QR code, you can also click that first top link in the description below. So just be sure to click that first top link in the description below for Poshmark. Now, always greatly appreciated. It is as good as the QR code. So once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. These are, in fact, my college football. Penn State at UCLA, live play, watch along reactions, live right here on YouTube. As we're on CBS with Brad Nessler, Garrett Danielson, and Jenny Dell. One more. I'm your host, Encyclopedia of Sports, Cohen Luke 96. It took more than 60 minutes last week for Penn State to end up losing to Oregon, rather than Penn State defeating Oregon. The Oregon Ducks came in and shut everybody up with the run game. You know, they were scoring points with the momentum they got mid-late third quarter. And, yeah, they came in and did exactly what they wanted to do. And that's obviously for any team, home, away, neutral site, you want to find a way to win. And Oregon defeated Penn State. Penn State came up just short. Now they take us to Pasadena with all the little old ladies. And about 18 minutes or so away from kick. So about 3:40 Eastern time, 12:40 local time for all those little old ladies out in Pasadena, California. The Rose Bowl, this ain't the Rose Bowl game. Obviously, Penn State's played in that a handful of times throughout their illustrious history. First road game for the blue and white here today in 2025. Last year, obviously, they started the season on the road and then, had a bunch of home games in a row. This year, you have a bunch of home games to start off the season, along with a bye week. Go on the road, and they better get used to going on the road because they're on the road today. Yeah, they'll return home next week for homecoming. That's then. This is now, though. Still got to take care of business or else to sort itself out. But then they got to go on the road again before another bye week, and then they go on the road to begin November as well. So, you had all those home games to start the year. You're 3-1. Now you're at winless 0-4 UCLA, and a couple of the next games. If you want to count today, 3 of the next 4 officially are officially on the road, away from Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley. So, Penn State at UCLA coming up here next on CBS. So when we win, there's nothing better. When we lose, there's nothing worse. That's what James Franklin said post-game press conference last weekend after losing to Oregon. And I mean, that's just a basic statement, but it's true. It's for Penn State. It's for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's, shit, for any team you root for in any sport, as obviously it's that time of year. The weather's changing, and you name it, that sport's probably on right now. So one of the best times of the year, obviously, but yeah, when we win, there's nothing better. When we lose, there's nothing worse. Well, yeah, no shit. You want to win. You never want to lose. Losing sucks. Winning's what matters. But regardless, we are Penn State, and maybe, just maybe, they'll use last week's double overtime loss to Oregon as motivation for the rest of the season. As, there's always hype, around Penn State football, and rightfully so. But from the start of last season until now, they've lost 4 different one-score games, as they're still just, right there, not being able to get over the hump and win that big game, if you will. Hence the nickname for James Franklin, Big Game James. But, if you thought myself and, this team was pissed off after how last season ended, I'd only hope now moving forward, that you ain't seen nothing yet. Seriously. They should have a bigger chip on their shoulder after how that game ended last week, moving forward into 2025. And obviously, it's one game. They'll be fine. Season ain't over. It's a long season. Still a lot of football to be played. But you look at the schedule. It's Big Ten football. It's college football. It's the 1-0 mentality because of what I'm about to say, because it's tough. Okay? They, over the next, month and a half, 2 months, because like I said last week, it's time to put up or shut up. And obviously they came up short again. But we should hopefully find out today, coming off the loss now last week, truly what this team is made of. And truly who they are. We are Penn State, but man, just once again take care of business. The rest will sort itself out. So obviously we'll see what happens. That's why they play the games. They decide on paper, decide on the field. Ain't over until it's over. And we'll continue on today. It's one game at a time. All right, just take care of business, or else sort itself out. But it ain't gonna get any easier. Okay, you're now in conference play. They're 3-0. Obviously, all 3 wins are in non-conference. They've yet to win in conference, losing last week at home and double overtime once more against Oregon. But then, continue on today with Penn State sitting at 3-1. They're at winless UCLA, who is 0-4. They have yet to win a game in 2025. And that's why Penn State's a 24.5-point favorite. Over-under set at 48.5. Games on CBS once more coming up here with Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Jenny Dell on the call. As with the studio show, they're showing off highlights from these earlier games. But once more, thanks for tuning in and listening. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Quinn Loop 96. So it's 3:30 Eastern time here in Central Pennsylvania, but 12:30 local time out in Pasadena. And this is Penn State's first regular season game inside of the Rose Bowl since 1968, which was a 21-6 win at UCLA. Yeah, they've played in the Rose Bowl game 4 times since then. Played in a one time prior that as well a little over 100 years ago. But yeah, Penn State's since 1968, their last regular season game inside the Rose Bowl at UCLA, 21-6 win once more. They played in the Rose Bowl games 4 times since, won it twice, but today something is happening that doesn't happen too often. But with the way college football is nowadays and the Big Ten being coast to coast, this is just reality. So, Penn State going to LA for the second consecutive year. They won at USC about a year ago. It would actually be technically next weekend, a year ago, in the overtime win against the Trojans. Obviously at UCLA today, inside the Rose Bowl, in which, they played in the Rose Bowl game a little over 100 years ago. Won it at the end of the 1994 season on January 2nd, 1995 against the Oregon Ducks, and then lost the Rose Bowl game at the end of the 08 and 16 seasons in January of 09 and 17 respectively against USC. But then, just at the end of the 22 season, January the 2nd, 2023, Penn State smelled the roses. They were California dreaming and defeated the Utah Utes and entered the field of play inside the Rose Bowl Stadium here today against UCLA Bruins. Before then, Penn State next year, they'll head back out west and go to UW in Seattle, go to Washington. Before then, they go to Oregon in 2027. So, with the expansion and the Big Ten and college football being what it is once more, Penn State's making a yearly West Coast trip from last year over the next couple of years. And then, after 28, the Big Ten does not currently have their schedule announced as of yet. So, I'm telling you what I know for that respective stat. But I also do know UCLA does lead the all-time series 4-3 over Penn State, but they haven't defeated the Nittany Lions since 1967, and then also haven't defeated Penn State at home since 1966. And yeah, I get, they haven't played much, overall, especially since then. Minus last year, obviously, Penn State won that this very weekend against UCLA in the stripe out, but UCLA not that good this year thus far at 0-4 once more, having already fired their head coach. But I repeat, do not take the Bruins lightly. Do not take UCLA lightly. Do not. Just don't. Blow off some steam from last week. First road game of the season for the blue and white. And then we'll see firsthand, if they know what the fuck they're doing or not. We are Penn State, and then James Franklin wants everyone to know, if he didn't already know, that he has his arms crossed as I speak, and that he gets it. James Franklin gets it. Those are his words, not mine. Take them for what they're worth. I don't know if you'll be able to take it to the bank and cash it in by any means, but yeah, he wants everyone to know that he gets it. He gets it all right. I'm not going there unless I absolutely have to go there. Like I said last week, now's not the time nor the place to be talking about potentially, what the future would hold for Penn State if they decide to write a $56 million check. If you know, you know. But James Franklin, he said he gets it. As from what I could find, this is Penn State's first game on October the 4th since 2008, which was a win at Purdue. And then Penn State all-time on 10-4 there, little fat buddy, for what I could find once more in research. They are 10-4 with 10 wins and 4 losses. So, Hopefully they can get number 11 here today. Uh, with the offensive line blocking up front for Drew Aller at quarterback. That's just how he rolls. And then obviously the running backs with Nick Singleton and the fat man Katron Allen, who 13, he has a touchdown in every game so far this season. But then you look at, they're still going by committee at tight end. Luke Reynolds, seemingly the number one, with Dickens behind him at 2. The wide receivers of, Hudson, who played at USC, so he's back out in LA for this game for the Blue and White today. Devontae Ross, who had a couple touchdowns last week, getting Penn State back to being tied at 17 to force overtime. And then Trevor Pena, who's more an all-around wideout, but obviously one thing at a time. Take care of business, or sort itself out. But it starts up front, get able to block to protect for one, but the football and then open up the pass, or vice versa, and then just move the ball downfield. So, yeah, Fat Man has a touchdown every game so far this season, but then you look at the Penn State defense before we get into special teams with Ryan Barker, who in LA last year at USC kicked the game winner in overtime. Had a field goal last week, but only a couple extra points on top of that. No, other field goals that they attempted, let alone made or missed for that matter. But defensively for Penn State, they're going to be without linebacker Tony Rojas for the foreseeable future, as he's injured and out for an extended period of time. So it's next man up, and we'll see who it is, at linebacker here today. Penn State would normally always run a 4-3, but, this year they're running a 4-2-5, which is 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, then 5 in the secondary with, your 2 corners, your free safety, and a strong safety, but then a nickel back. So, we'll see who steps up at linebacker. Because I honestly, right now, this game has not kicked off yet, has not started. I don't know. I mean, you can look at the roster, you can look at the depth chart, and potentially guess, on who it's going to be. But, coaches coach, players play. We'll see who steps up. With Tony Rojas injured and out once again for an extended period of time. So, next man up mentality. And speaking of the Penn State defense, with the UCLA offense, with the former Tennessee Vol at quarterback, Nico, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, they're 100% inside the red zone. So keep them outside of the 20. All right. And then based off of stats, Penn State's averaging 39 points a game, only allowing 12. UCLA's averaging 14 points a game while allowing 31. So, long story short with that, this game, if I'd have to predict the score, which I hate doing, I just do, because I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, I'd rather watch the game and see how it unfolds, and then, hopefully it's a win, because what I think, say, ain't going to make a damn difference on whether, team's going to win or lose, as we're just sitting here watching and obviously hoping for a win, but we're not coaching, we're not playing. We're sitting here discussing, analyzing, talking about the game. So thanks once again for tuning in and watching. But yeah, if I'd have to predict the score, which once again I hate doing, to me it just has that 35-14 feel or something along those lines. So we'll see, but obviously just find a way to win. That's what matters. Ain't that right, Hoss? So we'll also recap, preview, have stats and scores when the time is right. As mentioned, it's just that time of year with the weather changing and about every sport you can think of officially on. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. CBS here with the opening video package. And now I'm officially looking live at the Rose Bowl Stadium for this UCLA home game against the visiting blue and white Penn Lions. And yeah, Penn State 3-1, but 0-1 in the conference. UCLA 0-4, so they have yet to win whatsoever. Coin toss here, as the crowd is still filing in. Ain't going to be sold out because obviously those banners in the respective end zones, and then there's still a lot of empty seats. But this might be a home game away from home for Penn State here today, as the nation always travels well, regardless of where the game's being played at. I mean, for instance, Pittsburgh Steelers in the same boat. They just played in Ireland last Sunday morning, and Steeler Nation and the black and gold with their terrible towels were in full effect. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But just blow off some steam, score some points, and just find a way to win. But it was just talking about it being, fall, obviously weather's changing, leaves are dropping. And you have James Franklin there on the sideline counting, and then his arms are going to be crossed. He gets it. It's 71, they say, and sunny. Yeah, he has 104 wins, James Franklin does, which is tied for second all-time in Penn State football history. With a win today, he can surpass Rip Engel and become the second all-time winningest coach. Second, not the most. Second all-time winningest coach in Penn State football history, only behind JVP, Joseph Vincent Paterno, which that's what the field's named after now, even though they say it's something else at Beaver Stadium. But yeah, 409 forever. Meantime, Penn State kicks off. Big 99, Gabe Owusu kicks it deep. It'll be UCLA ball, 1st and 10 here. So football's Penn State hockey going to be dropping the pucks and the gloves come January the 31st of next year, 2026. And for anybody interested, tickets will go on sale October the 15th. And prices aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. Given it's the first outdoor hockey game for Penn State inside of Joseph Paterno Field at Beaver Stadium. And obviously not, one or two of the previous concerts they've had there as well over the past decade. But prices for the hockey game at Beaver Stadium will range from $24 to $78 a piece, depending on where you want to sit. But for everybody interested in that, there you go. UCLA on the first play of the game gets 6 yards at the 31-yard line, and then slant over the middle, caught for a first down with the Davian Collins on the coverage. So we're underway, and yeah, Penn State at UCLA here, first road game of the year. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Thumbs up button. Share. Chat questions and comments. Super chat, super sticker, super like, super thanks. Always greatly appreciated. As well as King Mack makes that tackle. UCLA right around midfield with a second down coming up. As Penn State's at UCLA today in football, UCLA will return the favor in men's basketball and enter the BJC this upcoming men's basketball season as well. But yes, 2nd and 3 here for UCLA from the 49-yard line. They'll work out of the pistol with a motion man. And Nico going to hand off and a couple, but he's short. So big third down here coming up for the Bruins. But on the Penn State defense, going to be 3rd and inches, it looks like. They say 3rd and 1, but see if the defense can get off the field. Because as they'll give, missed tackle, run down the far sideline. And now they wrap them up, but they're in field goal range. Yeah, because something along those lines might happen if you don't get off the field. But what can you do? It's early. A lot of football to be played. So Penn State, UCLA, Vandy, Alabama, Texas, Florida, and Boise State, Notre Dame are the 4 games we're going to be keeping our eyes on as they pass to the tight end in the flat bottom of your screen. UCLA, left to right across your television screen, ready on a dial. Once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. Second and 6 from the 29-yard line. As they're marching on downfield, that pass caught before Wheatley makes the tackle and the penalty on the play. See what that dirty laundry is here from the Zebras. Somebody not report. Ineligible receiver downfield. 5 yards. They'll replay it down. It'll be second down. What's up, big dog? There you go, buddy. So second and 11 from the 34 after the penalty. Penn State brings pressure, pass near side, caught and dropped, incomplete. So we're officially underway in all 4 of these games now. Obviously all tied at 0 because it's only quarter to 4 with 3:30 games just now kicking off. So we'll keep updates on scores, and just thanks once again for tuning in and listening. So come on, defense, let's get the fuck off the field. I mean, at this rate, force a field goal. There is the Nittany Lion with the cheerleaders and all Nittany Nation who traveled out west. And they bring 4. Nico going to step up and run and gets a first down and then some. And did the ball come out? No. He held on to it, and they're fired up with a strong opening drive of this ball game. And they got a 1st and 10 officially at the 12, so they got a couple, actually more than a couple shots to punch this in. They run it there for about a yard, second down, but and they tripped them up. Be second and 9. 10:45 and counting to play in this first quarter. Come on, defense. Where you at? And Nico's pass caught. Stiff arm. Reaches for the pylon. Was he out of bounds? I don't know. They say touchdown on the field, and touchdown UCLA. I think he might have stepped out on that stiff arm. I do. See a replay here. No, it's touchdown. Yeah, might have been at the 2, but then he reached for the pylon across the goal line, so to speak, into the end zone for a touchdown. Yep, that's a touchdown. So Penn State in a hole, 6-0, extra point to come. And obviously not a good look for the defense to start this game off with, especially after giving up 30 points in a loss last week. When offensively, yeah, I get that's where the problem was. But then you still had more points than you scored, and, you lost. So, touchdown UCLA, they're up now 7-0. We'll update some stats here in a minute. But now, here we go, and we'll have Drew Aller in a quarterback. Once again, that's just how he rolls. And they got to run the football. Aller's got to step up and make some plays, though. I mean, seriously, man. It's been, I get this is a big game because all games are big, but there's bigger games and big games. And one of those was last week, along with, talked about those 4 different one-score games since the start of last season, a little bit ago. And from last week to the last game of the season last year, there were 2 plays with 2 different interceptions that either was going to give them a chance, to win the game, or they ended up losing. Both of them, for that matter, because of turnovers. So, flat out, no turnovers today. No turnovers whatsoever. Drew's really got to step up and make some plays. He does. I don't care who it is with, who you're throwing the ball to, but take what the defense gives you. It starts up front. Offensive line's got to block for you. You got to have a good running game as well, which they do. But he's got to, man up and just take some chances. You can't just start or continue to do what you've been doing for the most part, and that's getting by. And him at quarterback, too, I might add, he's one that doesn't really turn the ball over either. That's what's, that's just the thing about it. It's like he barely turned the ball over. And then in situations, when the game's on the line, and then it goes south and, just disappears. So, offensively, they gotta do something. Feels like at times Matt Canada's calling plays for the blue and white, not Andy Kopenicki. Could go for a blizzard right about now, no doubt. Did warm back up here. But, man, just, like I said, not a good look for the defense. And they kick an onside kick. Oh, my God. Are you fucking kidding me? And nobody has a clue on Penn State's sideline what the fuck just hit them. I mean, come on, man. They go to kick it deep, and then they catch them off guard with a little pooch kick near side, and it still went more than 10 yards, so technically it's an onside kick. And, oh my God, fucking shoot me now. So defense back out there after just giving up a, long touchdown drive to begin the game. So they're going to be hands on hips and, looking to extend their lead. That's just fucking pathetic. That's all that is. So they run it. And that's not the players. That's the coaching on not being ready for an onside kick. Or a fake kick, if you will. Because it really wasn't even an onside kick. But it was. If you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to explain. But that's one of the first questions I'd ask James Franklin, And they're in a hole on the road. They're looking to be in a bigger hole if this defense allows another score. And then they're going to have to be playing catch-up from behind And just saying about the offense with Drew at quarterback. He's definitely going to have to make more plays now. It's still early, a lot of football he played, but that's the thing offensively. Once you do get the ball, yeah, you're going to be down one way or another, 7-0. Hopefully it stays that, not 10, not 14, but it might be, depending on what happens. Deep ball far side, caught first down with Zion Tracy on the coverage. But you're going to run the ball to slow this game down, to shut this crowd up, and then to air it out. But Drew's definitely going to have to be making more bigger plays now with the way how this game has started. It feels like, for me right now, Penn State football from last week's game entering into today with what just happened, that they're just fucking walking around acting as if everything's okay and that they're going to win regardless of whatever the fuck happens. That's what I said earlier. I repeat, do not take UCLA lightly. Yeah, they're winless, they're 0-4, but they have a chip on their shoulder because they're looking for their first fucking win. And you're trying to bounce back after a loss. A tough loss at that. A game you probably should have fucking won a couple of different times, but then also probably should have lost it a couple times last week. 2nd and 7 UCLA from the 8-yard line. And they'll run it again. Handoff. And a good 2-3 yards up the middle, 3rd down. So got to force a kick here. You can hope for a miss, still only down 1 score, but then, you give up a field goal, give up a touchdown, you're down 2 scores, either 10 or 14. I mean, for Christ's fucking sake. Jesus Christ, man. But like I said earlier, too, today's game, and I think we're finding out in real time, but in today's game, we'll find out who this team is and what they're made of, who they truly are. And it's, as that pass, almost picked off. Almost caught for a touchdown, almost picked off, but it falls incomplete. But that they're, like the bullies, if you will, but now they're getting bullied around. And they don't know what to fucking do. That's what it feels like for Penn State football right now, seriously. A.J. Harris almost had it. But then, does he go down? Is it a touchback? Does he go down at the 1? They got a ways to go. But pass incomplete, 4th down. UCLA going to kick the 24-yard field goal here from the left hash. Snap, hold, kick, all good. So UCLA gets 3 points off of their kickoff. And Penn State offensively has yet to touch the football. It wasn't a turnover. It was UCLA getting the ball to begin the game because Penn State kicked off. And then UCLA drives and scores a touchdown. 7-0. And then they catch Penn State just lacking. Sleepy. Just really not having a care in the world. Oh, we're definitely getting the ball back here just because, anybody would be thinking that. But that's in a instance like that, yeah. That's happened before. Just not for Penn State, but even bigger games, than this, for God's sakes. It's happened in the fucking Super Bowl. And the team who did it ended up winning the Lombardi. So, Penn State's got to slow this game down. You're down 2 scores now at 10-0. Run the goddamn ball, okay? But Drew Allard, 15. You got to step up and make some plays, buddy. You got to air it out. I don't care who the hell it's to, okay? From Kyron Hudson to Devontae Ross to Trevor Payne to Liam Clifford to Tyseer Denmark. Those are the 5 receivers they've used this year. Okay? And then a tight end from Luke Reynolds, Khalil Dinkins to Andrew Appleya. Run the screen game with Singleton and Allen as well. Fat Man once more has had a touchdown in every game so far this season. We'll see if he makes it 5 for 5. But they just got to cut this lead. I get it's early, a lot of football to be played. But they got to get something. They just can't do nothing now. Because then if so, it's going to be a long afternoon. hopefully they would make it out of LA alive. But we'll see here, one play at a time. Just go do something, you know. So they bring us back from commercial break, and I bet you any money they'll be fucking ready for this kickoff. At least I sure to hell hope they would be. But, you know, from the bare necessities to black, brown, and grizzly bears, you know, bear in the big blue house, Care Bears, cocaine bear, for God's sakes, you know, corduroy, little bear, Fozzie bear, Paddington, if you will, Smokey bear, only you can prevent forest fires. As UCLA is on fire right now, 10-0 on top of Penn State. The Lions going to get the ball here for the first time. You know, Ted, the Bernstein Bears, Winnie the Pooh, and Penn State wanting all the honey and the win here today. Yogi Bear, I mean, Penn State's trying to pull Davy Crockett. UCLA will kick it deep. It'll be a touchback. So 1st and 10 Nittany Lions. For the first time today, offensively, with 7:20 to go in this first quarter, and they're down not 3, not 6, not 7, but 10-0. And it wasn't because of a fucking turnover again. It was because of a UCLA touchdown on the opening drive, and then they got Penn State catnapping on the kickoff and got 3 points out of it. So Penn State's had 46 consecutive games without losing back-to-back games. Which, goes back to the 21 season, give or take, most definitely. And if it wasn't 21, it was 20. Because you look at 20, they started on, 5 before they, won 4 in a row. And then, 21, they won 5 in a row, so they had a 9-game winning streak, but then they shit the bed down the stretch, and then, lost in the Outback Bowl to Arkansas. 22, they go win the Rose Bowl. So, 46 consecutive games without losing back-to-back games. So they has to date back to 21. But Penn State, 2 plays there, they get a first down, ball at the 37-yard line. Aller in the gun with Ross in motion. And Aller going to dump it off. It's a little high, but caught by Pena, but then the ball's on the ground. And they say Penn State ball, 2nd down. Okay. Got a pile. We'll see what the refs say. Penn State comes up with it in any line football. But as I was saying, Penn State trying to pull a Davy Crockett and, kill themselves a bar here today against UCLA and put the Bruins into hibernation, even though, for the most part, they're already there this season. But Penn State more so killing and shooting themselves rather than, UCLA here early. But, we are Penn State one way or another at the end of the day. So, once again, we'll see what happens. Just find a way to win this game. I mean, you're down 10. You got to do something here. So, 1st and 10 in the lines from, the 48-yard line. About to enter UCLA territory here, it looks like. And they'll pitch it. Singleton. And he gets a first down run for about 12 yards far side. First down, Penn State. So 1st and 10, Aller going to roll out near side, pass at the 22, caught by Hudson. First down, Penn State. All right. This might be a long game for the defenses, and then it's what defense bends but doesn't break. from the 24 officially, 1st and 10. And they'll run it again, but Singleton's going to lose about 2, maybe 3 yards in the backfield on the tackle for loss. 2nd and long. If you got to settle for 3, then so be it. You're taking your points, especially being down like this and being on the road to, begin with. So, Al are going to fake the pitch down the middle, high but caught. Wrap we have for about 11, so 3rd and short. Take what the defense gives you. He's wide open over the middle. He hits them for what would have been a 1st down, but remember they lost yards on the previous play, and now it's 3rd and short. Movement up front. They let it slide. Penn State on 3rd and 1 gets the 1st down with a fat man run for 2. And now they say 1st and goal officially here for the blue and white, which I think is incorrect. Brad Nessler might have got a little ahead of himself. Yeah, it's 1st and 10. So they'll have 8 shots now to punch this in. 1st and 10 from the 13. Pena in motion. Aller will hand off. Fat man inside the 10, 5, and walks in, touchdown Penn State. And he's now scored in all 5 games this 2025 season. As he kicks the door open, we are. And Penn State now only down 4, extra point to come. But, yeah. It all starts up front. You get able to block around the football. And they do just that. He hits the hole and walks in for 6 extra points. Good by Barker. 10-7 your score with 2:06 to play in this 1st quarter. So yeah, Katron Allen now with a touchdown against Nevada, a touchdown against Florida International, a touchdown against Villanova, a touchdown during the bye week in practice, yes, but a touchdown last week against Oregon as well, and a touchdown to begin things today at UCLA, as we've discussed as well as we'll pass here. That both Singleton and Allen, both 10 and 13, they're both within reach of potentially both, and then maybe surpassing one another if it happens, and then we'll see who's on top at season's end, but they're both within reach of potentially becoming the all-time leading rusher in Penn State football history, here in 2025, being, 2 separate 4-year starting running backs. As they were on that 22 team that went and won the Rose Bowl. And that's what got Penn State back to where they are right now, is the run game. Because if you remember in 20 and 21, they could not run the goddamn ball whatsoever, save their goddamn life. They couldn't. And it was all one-dimensional and rely on the defense. And, yeah, no wonder 20 and 21, it's 4 and 5 and 7 and 6. But then they go win the Rose Bowl, played in the Peach Bowl, made the Final Four last year before they lost to Notre Dame, who's up 6-0 at home against Boise State, who Penn State beat in the previous game in the Festival. Texas at Florida, as mentioned. And then Bama had just given up a long touchdown run to Vandy. So the Commodores lead the Tide 7-0 down in Tuscaloosa. as Vandy's probably as good as they've been since James Franklin was there in 11, 12, and 13 before he left Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, for State College. So, but Penn State scores. They cut the lead. It's 10-7 now. Back to the defense. All right. Need to make a stop. Gabe Owusu on the kickoff, but Drew Aller's 4 38 yards. Balance, consistency in their run game. Fatman has one more yard than Singleton does. They both have 3 carries for 19 and 18 yards respectively. And then the Fatman has the rushing touchdown there. So 10-7 your score. 2:06 to play in this first quarter. And Penn State kicks off once more. So defense, need a stop. Turnover would be nice. I mean, you want to try to even out that miscue on the kickoff that caught him off guard, basically. You know, you want to try to even that with get a turnover, go kick a field goal, tie ball game then at 10. You know, and then fresh slate and then work out of that. Let alone just tack onto your lead and keep them where they're at. I mean, shit, they have 10 points. They're only averaging, 14 a game. So, you know, they're almost 15 minutes in, almost to that average, you know, in their 4 losses, as Nico will keep it before being brought down by Wheatley, DDS, and Campbell, who was a tackling machine last Saturday night for the Blue and White, transfer from North Carolina. So 2nd and 4 from the 31. Nico's pass over the middle caught another first down for UCLA. Ball comes out late, but they would have already blew that dead. So 1st and 10 Bruins. Yeah, they say forward progress was stopped with Dom DeLuca and Campbell on the stop. From the 37, 1st and 10, quick bubble screen near side is caught. Got a block, and he's about the 42 for a pick of about 4, maybe 5. So 2nd down. Yeah, they bring up Tony Rojas, who we talked about earlier. He's out indefinitely with an injury. Don't know officially what it is, but yeah, he's out with an injury, and who knows when he's going to be back. You know, Penn State really doesn't release injury reports other than saying he's out, he's not playing. So, yeah. Like I said, defensively, it's next man up mentality, and we'll see who it is. I mean, really, at linebacker, it's just been Campbell and DD, Dom DeLuca. And, you know, they're running, 4-2-5 rather than a 4-3, so you have an extra, corner or safety or nickelback in there compared to linebacker. But then somebody who can also get up in the box and, go to work. So, we'll see if, defensively, at the end of the first quarter, UCLA leading Penn State 10-7 your score, if this defense can, make stops. You have Zane Durant in the middle, DDS coming off the edge. Fisher's played, as he's battled injury in the past as well, from Aliquippa. He's played some good ball this year. Lonzo Ford's, just a big body, hogging up the middle of the defensive line as well. Transferred from Old Dominion a couple years ago. But they have depth, on the defensive line. I'd say more so on the ends than in the middle. Xavier Gilliam's played a bunch so far this season as well. But, Harvey and the Chasmanian Devil, Chaz Coleman, getting playing time as well. But, like I said, with linebacker Tony Rojas, out with an injury, yeah, it's Campbell. Seeing Dom DeLuca and 24/7 get the gear. It's PennStateClothes.com for the family clothesline. We are Penn State as we see your commercial break at the end of the first quarter. Thanks for tuning in and listening. 10-7 your score, UCLA leading Penn State. But it's probably going to be a lot of Amari Campbell and Dom DeLuca. And, Wiley's been around. Anthony Specca from the 412 as well has played a little bit. I heard people saying this past week, well, now it's time, with Rojas out to put LeVar in. Arrington the second. Not LeVar Arrington, but his son, the second. And, give him some playing time. Maybe. We'll see. Obviously, as a true freshman, you can play in up to 4 games and still redshirt. So I'm sure at some point in time this season, he'll get playing time. Because I don't think he's played a hell of a lot from what I've noticed so far this season. But, if it comes down to it, and then that's what you definitely got to do because of numbers and such, then you got to do what you got to do. You got to find a way to win. Next man up. Obviously, the best player is going to play, but you got to play as a team, though, too. There's no I in team, so talk about, the 4-2-5 with everybody they have in secondary. Wheatley, A.J. Harris, Iron Tracy, Elliott Washington, King Mack, DeJuan Lane, Kenny Wosley. Dixon's a true freshman from L.A. He's played a little bit. But you just got to make a play. That's what matters. That's, just... Yeah, they say every play matters, and it does. But UCLA has a lead for the first time this season. Okay? Just think about that. They're 0-4. They're one of the worst teams in all of college football. They're leading against Penn State let alone anybody, for the first time this season. It just happens to be against Penn State. 10-7. And then penalty on the defense with an offside. Penalty is going to be declined because the pass was complete near side for a first down, so they'll move the sticks regardless. And it's 1st and 10 for UCLA. So 1st and 10 UCLA from the 46. And a handoff, and a missed tackle, and another missed tackle before they wrap him up. Come on, man. Seriously. Just... all it is frustrating. So I said coming out of the game last week, it was frustration. It was being pissed off. It was just... it was a gut punch, and that tough loss. But tough shit, you move on. But they're still playing like dog shit here today. Nico, ball on the ground. As he fumbled it, recovered his own fumble, and now it'll be 3rd and long. Zariah Fisher swatted it, so a strip sack for him, but UCLA recovers. And 3rd and 10, they say. From the 46, 3rd and 10. And they'll run it. That's a hold. That is holding. But they're still not calling it, just like they didn't fucking call it last week. First down, UCLA. How's that not holding? I mean, come on, man. But Wheatley and I believe Coleman make the stop from the 35, 1st and 10, UCLA. Looking to tack onto their lead. And Nico will keep it again. Double D, Dom DeLuca on the stop. So 2nd and 5 from the 30. Nico looking to pass. It's a little too much. Incomplete. 3rd down coming up with Lane on the coverage. Third and 5 from the 30. Nico's pass, high but caught, and it'll be enough for a 1st down. Come on, man. Do I need to start making a list of you know what? If so, hit that thumbs up button. 1st and 10. From the 20, 1st and 10. Pump fake and high, but back to almost caught, almost picked off in the end zone. It falls incomplete. 2nd and 10, 11:33 to play in the first half. It's 10-7 UCLA. But they're knocking on the door again. Second and 10, ball at 20 again. And they'll run it and get stuffed. Campbell and Dom DeLuca. They're stepping up as a duo at linebacker without Tony Rojas. 3rd and 10. And movement up front. They say false start on UCLA. 5 yards, it'll be 3rd and 15. Come on, Deef. Where the hell are you? Nico looking to throw. Gonna roll. That's a fucking hold. Oh my God, throw the fucking penalty flag. And they get another 1st down out of it. Of course they do. 1st and goal, UCLA at the 6. You gotta be joking. Are these refs fucking blind? How is that not holding? Watch the left side of the line. 77. How is that not holding? Oh my God. That's fucking 3 holds in the past half a game from the Oregon missed hold last week and 2 on this fucking drive. And got an injured Penn State line, and it's, of course, 0 Dom DeLuca. They're already down Tony Rojas at linebacker. So it's definitely going to be next man up mentality if he's going to be out. Throw the holding. Oh my God, I get it happens in every play, but when it's clear and obvious like that, you gotta call it, man. These fucking refs. They suck, they blow ass. It's like, it just blows my mind how these fucking refs, can sometimes... Not sometimes, all the time, unless they're getting fired. Which the NFL did make some moves after last year and fired some refs. Maybe college football should do the same. But on the Big Ten, for that matter. But that they're, officiating these games. Ray, Ronnie, and Stevie, hell, Helen Keller could have fucking saw and heard that hold. Replace for better than these fuckers. Good God. How is that not holding? Seriously. Somebody please explain that to me. How is that not holding? But oh wait, just wait. That happens against Penn State. 10 yards, back them up. Just is what it is, though. At the end of the day, what can you do? You gotta play through it. They want to fuck you, well, fuck them back. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. This is... Once again, it's what it is. 10:23 to play in the first half. UCLA ball, first and goal now. After a missed holding. Of course, they're going to show the replay again. So everybody can see 77 left tackle. Hold 44, Jalen Harvey at Penn State. How is that not holding? So Dom DeLuca on the sideline, walking it off, but it looks like a shoulder injury, potentially, or right arm injury. But UCLA first and goal from the 5.5, 6 yard line here. Come on, defense, got to keep him out of the end zone. Force another kick. So Penn State now defensively, 26 Cam Smith is in the ball game. A true freshman from St. Joe's Prep down in Philly. First and goal. Nico will hand off, and they stuff him. Campbell and Lane. So second and goal, and Dom DeLuca back out there. So he's going to play through the pain. Second and goal from the 6. And they'll run it again, and they stuff him again. DDS on the stop. Be third and goal. Come on, defense, let's go. So CBS on the broadcast here is all for the UCLA offense right now. Family connections or not, I mean, come on. Just let's play the fucking game. And call it as we see it. 3rd and goal from the 6. Nico pass in the end zone, caught, touchdown. God damn it. You got to be fucking joking. Jesus Christ, man. So 16-7, 8:50 to play in the first half. And UCLA, yeah, they're working clock along with driving and scoring. Doing what Oregon did last week. You know, controlling the clock for as much as you can, running the football, quarterback making plays. But then, you know, well, it's usually a home game, so they're not shutting this crowd up. They're getting even more pumped up. So Penn State's going to have to continue to play through that, up against that. But yeah, it was almost picked off by Ryan Fisher, it looked like. But yeah, UCLA is up 17-7 on the now 7th-ranked Penn State Lions after they fell in the AP Top 25 poll after the loss last week. But 8:50 to play in the half. You got to go score. You got to go score, man. So this is... Because like I said after the game last week, and I said it earlier today, after the loss, we'll see what, you know, this team's made of now. We'll see who they really are against UCLA. And, you know, it's either they're going to go out and, all right, we're fine, or it's exactly what's going on right now. You know, because last time Penn State lost in overtime was the 21 season. And 9 overtimes against Illinois. And then, you know, they shit the bed. And obviously they're coming off an overtime loss now last weekend. And hopefully the rest of that doesn't, you know, with what I just said, come true as well. Again, I might add. So, just frustrating is all it is. You know, they're playing like ass. But you also got to give UCLA credit. You know, you got to give UCLA credit here with allowing, or with them driving against this Penn State defense, the Penn State defense, allowing them to, not for the most part, do what they want just yet, because we're not, you know, deep into the second half by any means. But you have... pull up some stats for UCLA. Nico is 10 of 14, 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also leading the team in rushing right now with 5 carries, 48 yards. Thomas, 5 of 38. Woods, 8 of 22. So, balanced consistency with the UCLA offense. They're running the ball. They're throwing the ball. They're scoring points. Remember, they have a 3 off of, like, a fake kickoff, if that's what you want to call it, because that's what it was. It wasn't an onside kick, more of a pooch, but they scored off of it. And that is a difference in this game right now, but not the difference in the game right now. So, 100 years of Goodyear blimp, overlooking the City of Angels. Penn State going to need some help from up above to get themselves back in this ballgame. That's for damn sure. 17-7, UCLA kicks off, touchback, and it'll be 1st and 10, Penn State. Yeah, Penn State's had the ball for 5 minutes. UCLA's controlled the clock from the 25, first and 10 Penn State. So they got to use every second they get to their advantage. They cannot be turning the ball over being down 2 scores. They just can't. So 2nd and 6. I mean, if you can go drive and score, you know, maybe work some clock while you're at it. Get a 2-for-1 double dip. You're going to get the ball back to begin the second half. Then you're right there. But that pass near side incomplete on 2nd and 6. It's 3rd down and 6 coming up now. So 3rd and 6 here, Penn State from the 29-yard line. They get it off. Aller stepping up, looking to throw. It's batted down, incomplete, 10 for Kyron Hudson. 4th down, and they'll punt. And UCLA is going to get the ball back up 10, 17-7, with 8:06 to play in the first half. Is they just had a fucking quick 3 and out. You got to be kidding me, man. So Gabe Owusu kicks it deep. It'll be fielded at the 25. And about a 7-8 yard return. Is that a penalty on the play? Did I see a yellow flag, or was that a glove? In the meantime, they'll fade to black and go to commercial break, so we'll get back to the action shortly. 17-7 your score, UCLA leading Penn State. So once again, thanks for tuning in and listening to my college football Penn State live play, watch along reactions live here on YouTube. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cohen Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Thumbs up button, share, chat questions, comments, super chat, super stickers, super like, super thanks. Always greatly appreciated as well. As this video is powered by Rogue Energy, HopeKThrifts, and Dead and Hungry. And be sure to click the first top link in the description below, and we'll get back to the action shortly. 17-7, UCLA leading Penn State, mid-second quarter. UCLA ball, first and 10 at the 32-yard line after the Penn State punt. 17-7 Bruins. They'll run it, and rightfully so. They have a lead. You want to run the ball and work clock. And, it's time for this Penn State team in general, offense, defense, special teams, from the coaches down to the players. Really time to put up or shut up. Show me what you got. Show me what you're working with. So 2nd and 5. So 2nd and 5, they throw. It's complete for UCLA first down with 7-11 and counting to play in this first half, even though Sheets is better than them and Wawa. 1st and 10. They'll run it again on 1st and 10. Another good chunk play. 2nd and manageable coming up for UCLA. This defense the whole team they're nowhere to be found. They're just not. Second and 4 from the 49. Nico going deep down the middle. Has a man, and it's caught. First down, 1st and goal UCLA. In a double coverage, I might add. And they're going to go hurry up to make sure he caught it or didn't catch it. Yeah. Elliott Washington and King Mack on the coverage. And 1st and goal UCLA at the 8. Out of the pistol. They'll run it. And 2nd and goal coming up from about the 4. So 2nd and goal from the 3. Come on, guys. Come on, Blue. And Nico going to keep it, and he walks in, touchdown. 23-7 UCLA with 4:47 to play in this first half. And it seems like all the air you can think of, all the air in the world has been popped and has gone away from this Penn State football team. And with the extra point, good. It's 24-7 with 4:47 to play. I think it's time to start making a list. So click the pen, Jericho. And James Franklin, I think you just made the list. So we'll make a list of some potential fill in the blanks. Yeah. Because who knows? I mean, this might have just run its course. And maybe, a time for a change on both sides of it. So I'll leave it at that for the time being, and we'll see what happens here. But are really up shit creek without a paddle. They're in a bad spot. Defense ain't making stops. You know, UCLA's scored on every drive. And, you know, because of that, defense can't stop them. But offensively, you know, you haven't really had the ball today. You know, credit to UCLA because of that. They're controlling the clock. Yeah, you have a rushing touchdown, but then you just had a quick 3 and out. And then you give up another touchdown on the back end of it. So, yeah, like I said, I think it's time to make a list of you know what. So, I'll get on that, and then we'll see how the rest of this game goes, and we'll go from there. So another touchback on the kick, 1st and 10, Penn State. Got to do something, guys. Now or never. Season's on the line. So 1st and 10 here, Penn State. From the 25. Pena on the... Jesus Christ. They're on a little, you know, shuffle pass. So they are running that to death. And he loses officially 10 yards. It's 2nd and 20. So, yeah, pressure's on for sure. 2nd and 20 with 4:09 and counting to play in this first half. And Penn State needs some help. Aller over the middle. It's caught. 1st down. Kyron Hudson. Got to keep it up. One play at a time. Game of inches. Still a lot of football to be played. But you just can't allow, you know, this game to get out of reach. I mean, go fucking deep while you're at it. You know, they hit Hudson over the middle, but if would have waited probably an extra second or two, he had, it looked like Devontae Ross going deep down the middle. And Aller going to keep it for himself, and he gets nowhere. 2nd and 10. So 2nd and 10 from the 35. Aller complete Khalil Dinkins to the 41-yard line. It's 3rd down, though. 3rd and 4 from the 41. They need the 45. Aller looking to throw, going to go deep near side. That's PI. Where's the flag? Come on. Thank you. There's the penalty. That's a defensive hold or a DPI. It's a first down Penn State, I'll tell you that much. Pass interference on the defense. 15 yards, automatic first down. Not a spot foul. 15 yards on automatic first down. And we got the 2-minute warning. Is that what they said? Yeah, okay. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Penn State trails 24-7 at UCLA. They're clearly getting their ass kicked right now. But if they can score here before halftime, they are getting the ball back to begin the second half. Score then as well. All you'll need is a defensive stop to, give yourself a chance to tie the game little and take a lead. But that's what you got to use your time wisely now, because you're not getting much of it today because they're controlling the clock. So you got to score when you can score. So 24-7. Penn State ball after the penalty, 1st and 10. But you got to go score, man. So we come back from break. It's 1st and 10 Penn State with 2 minutes to play, but some sort of stoppage here still. I don't know why. The ref's trying to get this under control. So 1st and 10 from the 44. Handoff Singleton, and he gets 2 yards. So 2nd and 8, $1:44 and counting. I mean, if you got to take the points, take the points. Make it, back to a 2-score game at, 14. But you're hoping to score a touchdown here. Just wasted 15 seconds. Still haven't snapped the ball. Still have 3 timeouts. Singleton on the run again. And he gets to about the 38. So they're going to let this clock wind now and get under a minute before they snap it on 3rd and 4. Actually, no, they'll go hurry up. Looked like they're going to wait. They go hurry up, though. Aller keeps it and then dives. Doesn't get the first down. It'll be 4th and about 2. Yeah, you should definitely let this clock run now. Call timeout. Probably kick a long field goal. Ball at the 37-ish yard line, excuse me. 4th and 2. They're going to go for it. But it might be just to try to draw them off sides. Now a timeout with a whistle. Timeout UCLA. So 26 seconds. And it's, 4th and 2. We'll see if Penn State still goes for it or if they decide to kick a field goal. And from here, you're looking at about a 53-yarder. 54-yarder from Ryan Barker. So, yeah. They're just, they do it to themselves. So they will line up to go for it. They did reset the clock to 28 seconds. It's 4th and 2. Ross in motion. And they will snap it and go for it on 4th and 2. And Aller going to get sacked. God damn it. You got to be kidding me. Kick the fucking field goal. They're just getting too full of themselves now. And now UCLA is getting the ball back with about half the field to work with. 22 seconds, and they got 2 timeouts, so they'll extend their lead going into half before Penn State gets the ball back to begin the second half. And there's James Franklin with his arms crossed. What's fucking new? First and 10 from the 47. And now another whistle. Yeah, why? Nobody knows why they're doing that. So UCLA first and 10. Over the middle, it's caught. Missed tackle. And they get the first down. And UCLA calls a timeout with 15 seconds to go. They'll have a first and 10, and we'll take another commercial break, so we'll get back to it. But Penn State's in a position that no team wants to be in, but Penn State's in a position that they have not been in quite a while. So first and 10 here, UCLA. And over the middle, it's caught. They're in field goal range. And they're going to let the final few seconds tick down before they call their third and final timeout and kick a field goal to go up 27-7 at halftime with a make. Penn State still has all 3 timeouts. Couldn't have been a worse first half here for Penn State, especially coming off the loss after last week. So 54-yard field goal for UCLA going into halftime. This is about where Penn State was before they just went for it on 4th down to give UCLA the ball back. 54-yard field goal. Kick is up and good. So UCLA leads Penn State 27-7 at halftime. What a fucking joke. Am I dreaming right now, or is this a nightmare? Just absolutely pathetic. James Franklin interview. See what bullshit comes out of his mouth. Yeah, that's where the momentum switched. Well, it's all about momentum and rhythm. We've talked about it. This offense, all season long, just not today, all season long. Because it's balance, it's consistency, it's momentum, it's rhythm. Offensively, they have not been in rhythm whatsoever from late August until early October. Not 1 second. And even if they do get in rhythm, it's gone in a heartbeat. So Penn State's going to get the ball back to begin the second half. But can they get it settled down? You know, you look at the stats. I mean, all right, they have the rushing touchdown. They have some rushing yards. But Aller still has to make plays at quarterback. He does. It starts up from the offensive line. They got to run the ball, and Aller's got to make plays. It's not as simple as that for this offense. But then the defense can't even get a fuck off the field. UCLA is controlling the clock. They are running the ball. They are passing the ball. They're scoring points. You know, so you got to give UCLA credit, but this is just absolutely piss poor, pathetic by Penn State football. And like I said, after last week's loss, they would enter today, and I think we would find out what kind of team, was going to show up. Well, I think we have our answer here in this first half. But yet, there's still another half of what they played. Game ain't over until it's over. You got to play a full 60, maybe more. Just more frustration setting in, obviously. Just, like I said a little bit ago, I think it was time to start making a list for potential fill in the blanks, if you get my gist. It's just the same fucking shit. It's the same old, same old. And then it's the same, bullshit of, this, that, the other, and I'm proud of them. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, fold your and cross your arms some more while you're at it. But I'm not getting into that discussion unless I absolutely have to. Okay? But, yeah, it's just... If it ain't one thing, it's another with them right now. They can't catch a fucking break. They just can't. Like, coming off of a loss like that, you're either going to bounce back or you're going to, shit the bed, and they're doing the latter. There's hardly ever, any in between, with that. There sometimes is, but not really. Just frustrating, obviously. Offensively, they got to get in a rhythm. He might get the Lane Kiffin treatment. They are in LA. LAX is where they flew in and are going to be flying out of, if I'm not mistaken. So, tarmac ain't going to be going anywhere. And the thing today, tonight, they lose this game. Oh my God, you're not going to hear the fucking end of it. And rightfully so. But then it's also, be careful what you wish for. But then, as I was just saying, time to, potentially make a list of, fill in the blanks of, you get where I'm going. But, overall, just on both sides, it might have run its course and, time, potentially for a change. And they're spending $700 million on a fucking stadium renovation. They ain't going to give a shit about $56 million. They'll cut that check in a fucking second. But like I said, I'm not getting into that discussion unless I absolutely have to. They lose this game, though, today to winless UCLA. Yeah, by all means, university, do whatever the fuck you want. Because then there's the argument of, well, who are you going to get? Oh, I could tell you who they could get. I've been saying his name for fucking 10 years. And I think he would, really, really consider. But maybe not. I don't know. So, like I said, I'm not getting into that unless I absolutely have to. So, it's just, it's frustrating. They're down 27-7. They got to use their time wisely and score when they have the chance to, score. Because UCLA, once again, you look at the stats. They're controlling the clock here officially. What is it? 19:24 to 10:36. Well, Penn State's playing like it's 19:24. It's just, what the fuck, man? I don't even know at this rate if we're going to get into a recap and a preview for college football. If we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. So, 20-minute halftime here, obviously. Probably about almost halfway done with that, but good God, man. It's just, what can you do? You know? Like they're acting like they do not know how to play football. Like, for instance, where they were last year, that was last year, this is this year. But then you're 3-0, scraping by, and you met your match, last week. You got beat. But now it feels like they've fallen off a fucking cliff. And it's just, I'm not going to be surprised, if they, obviously come back and win this game. But I'm not going to be surprised to see that, they are going to continue to get blown out and not really have a fucking chance in this game, as they do, but they don't right now. But then, do they, make a comeback, but then they still fall short? And then what's the difference here or there? You know what I mean? And then, like I said, they lose to UCLA. He probably deserves to be fired at that rate, for sure. And then we get into that discussion, which I've brought it up a couple times over the past. It was really in 20 when they started 0-5. And then, towards the end of the 21 season, when they shit the bed. But then remember, that's when he got his extension. But yeah, I'm still going to hold my thoughts on all that, because there's still another half of football to be played here. They need to wake the fuck up, I'll say that much. Everybody involved in this program, they need to wake up. But UCLA has momentum. And it does go back to that kickoff. They caught Penn State sleeping. Catnapping for the Lions. And, they have 3 points off of that. They have 3 points off of a field goal to end the half with, Penn State going for it just prior to that. Didn't want to kick a 54-yarder, but then UCLA knocks one through. Unless you'd have 3 points more than what you do, and it'd be a 2-score game at 24-14, or 24-10, excuse me, not 27-7. And then, you're still getting the ball back to begin the second half. But now you're down 3 scores. And so I said, time-wise, they got to use every second that they have the ball to their advantage. And they got to go score. They got to get momentum on their side. And it starts by running the football to quiet this crowd. Ain't over until it's over. Aller's got to make plays. But this defense needs stops. And then, I mean, we'll see about the situation of taking your points. When it comes down to it, if it's going to be a decision to kick it, take your points here, or yeah, you should probably go for it. They probably should have kicked it there before halftime, but they didn't. They go for it. UCLA then kicks the same distance field goal going into half the other way, obviously, but they make it, and they extend their lead. And it's not like Ryan Barker ain't a good kicker. I don't know why he's not believing in him right now to, trot out there and from the long snapper to the hold and then the kick. I mean, I get long field goals. It's going to, come off the ground low and, to go the distance. And it, very well could get blocked. But you're not going to know unless you fucking kick it rather than going for it and then you take the sack. It's like, their heads are so far up their fucking ass, it ain't even funny anymore. Like, it's not. Like, hopefully they know what their shit smells like. I'll say that much. Because it gets any worse, you're not going to hear the end of it for myself, let alone the rest of Nittany Nation. And probably the rest of college football. On this, that, the other for Penn State. And, I mean, at that rate, rightfully so. By all means. Floor's yours. So, yeah. So as they show the Big Ten commercial, Washington, Penn State plays that next year. Go to Oregon in 27. Was at USC last year, at UCLA today in the Rose Bowl. There's Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin jumping around. Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, Indiana, Michigan State, along with OHIO, the defending national champions. Maryland, Rutgers, but in smack dab central Pennsylvania. State College, University Park in Happy Valley. We are Penn State. But Penn State getting the ball to begin the second half. It's 27-7. I'll update some stats for you. As, this offense, defense, special teams, they got to roll, man. Whatever the hell's in their way, they got to run over. It's just... it's just frustrating. So at halftime, UCLA leads Penn State 27-7. Nico 4-18, $158 and 2 touchdowns. They have 23 carries, 127 yards rushing as a team with a rushing touchdown as well. Nico leading the team in rushing with 6 carries, 51 yards, and the score. Thomas 5-38, Woods 8-22, and Berger 4-16. Gilmer, not Gilmore, but Gilmer 5-79 on a touchdown. TMA 3-41 on the score. Flores 3-22. Peterson 2-10, and Double H, not Triple H, has a catch for 6 yards. Penn State on the flip side, in the first half. Drew Aller, 6 of 8, 64 yards passing. Yeah, that's 10 yards of completion, but they had one good drive on offense, and that was the scoring drive, and nothing since. And then remember, that was to cut it to 10-7. That's the closest they've been when it wasn't tied at 0. It was down 3 at 10-7. Because then UCLA scores again, goes up 17-7. They score again, go up 24-7. And then Penn State with a turnover on downs. UCLA gets 3 points before the half, 27-7. With Drew Aller, 6 of 8, 64 yards. Nick Singleton, 5 carries, 24 yards. The fat man, Katron Allen, 4-23 in the touchdown. Hudson, 3 catches, 40 yards. But then Rapouille has a catch for 11. Pena, 1 of 7. And Dinkins, 1 of 6. So Ross, nowhere to be found. And Luke Reynolds, nowhere to be found. Let alone, I mean, really no one whatsoever on offense, defense, or special teams. Let alone the whole entire coaching staff to be found for the blue and white Penn State Lions here today. Campbell has 6 total tackles. A couple guys with 5 apiece. They have 1 sack. It's Zariah Fisher. And Barker has 1 point on the extra point because they won't trot him out for field goals. For whatever reason. I don't know. UCLA has 14 first downs. They're 7 of 8 on third down. Penn State can't get off the fucking field. That's why they're controlling the clock, 19-24 to 10-36. Penn State's 1 of 3 on third down and 0 of 1 on fourth down with 64 passing yards, 28 yards rushing, when UCLA has 158 yards passing, 127 yards rushing for 285 total compared to Penn State's 92 total yards in the first fucking half. Not a quarter, first half. Yeah, okay, they don't have any penalties or no turnovers. UCLA has 3 for 25, almost had a fumble. But UCLA has all the momentum, man. Penn State has nothing other than the 7 points they have on the rushing touchdown. Other than that, they're nowhere to be found. So, Penn State going to receive here to begin the second half. Nice kickoff return would be nice. Like I said, if we recap and preview and all that with college football and the NFL, with games ongoing and games to come, okay. If not, then okay as well. But a touchback on the kick, 1st and 10, Penn State from the 25. And it's time to put up or shut up again. Got a second half to be played here in the third and fourth quarters for Penn State this final 30 minutes to, get themselves back in this game to, find a way to win, but who knows what the hell is going to happen. So 1st and 10 and tackle for loss. It'll be 2nd and long. So 2nd and 14. Second and 14 from the 21. Aller down the middle. It's caught. First down. Fumble, of course. Of fucking course. Oh my God. Luke Reynolds over the middle. He caught it, and then it got punched out. Fumble. UCLA recovers, and their ball 1st and 10. And there's James Franklin once again on the sideline with his arms crossed. But what's new? So now they turn the ball over, being down 20. And obviously he couldn't afford that. And now we'll see if UCLA can capitalize off it. And more power and credit to them if they can. And it's tough shit for Penn State at this rate. But the defense needs a fucking stop to get it back. Ball to 38. Now we got a flag. False start on UCLA. So back them up 5 yards. First and 15 from the 43. They'll run it, and rightfully so. They have a lead. They want to run the ball and continue to work clock and make sure Penn State doesn't touch it. So 2nd and 10 from the 38, pass, incomplete far side. So 3rd and 10, get off the field, and then hope to get the ball back. But they're going to have to score on, for the most part, probably, just depends on how the rest of the second half shakes out. But I'm thinking at probably every drive they, touch the ball at this rate. So 3rd and 10, it's incomplete. Good coverage by Collins. Ball gets knocked loose, and it's incomplete. 4th and 10. So UCLA going to punt for the first time all game? Yeah, but these refs aren't calling shit today. They'll actually kick a long field goal. Another 50-plus yarder. This from 56. Kicks up. No good. He hooked it right. No good. All right, there's a break for you. There's a little bit of a spark. You got to capitalize off of it. So you turn the ball over, but they miss a field goal. So we're still 27-7 with 13-12 to play in the third. Defense gets the stop. 3 and out. Missed field goal. Offense. Ball's going to be at that spot when we come back. You got to take advantage of it. You got to go score, man. You just can't turn the ball right back over to him again. So we'll see. We'll get back to it here, what this offense is going to do. They catch a break there after the turnover. I'd probably say that would be ball game if they would have fucking scored a touchdown on that. Because then you're down 4 scores. And, you might as well start writing, not the Gettysburg Address, but that buyout contract. And, yeah. But 27-7. Penn State ball, 1st and 10 when we come back. Just frustrating as all hell. First and 10, Penn State. So they run Fat Man. Katron Allen gets about 6, maybe 7. Second down, though, coming up. So Aller pass complete. Andrew Rappel, far side. It'll be 3rd and short now. Convert. Do it all over again. Third and 1, they'll run Fat Man again. He gets out past midfield and gets a first down. Powell still pushing down the far sideline. So 1st and 10. Keep at it. So from the 40, 1st and 10, Aller looking to throw. Run! Run! Oh my God, run the fucking ball. You have 20 yards in front of you. Get the first down, then you step out of bounds. You could have got way more than that. And now there's a flag play. Of course there's. Let me guess, it's holding and it's coming back. You gotta be joking. Holding. You're going to call it against Penn State, but not them. That's bullshit. You got to call it down the fucking middle. He's got green grass in front of him. Run, and then they call the hold on that. That's fucked up, man. Yeah, but how many missed holdings have they made on Oregon and UCLA the past 2 weeks? I'll wait for an answer. 1st and 10 from the 40. Aller near sideline. Dinkins caught, and he walks in. Touchdown. All right. Blown coverage by UCLA. I don't know how Dinkins got that wide open on a wheel route, but he did. And fucked the penalty that they called, and they score on the very next play. 27-13, extra point to come, 11:28 to go in this third quarter. Game ain't over just yet. Come on, defense. Going to need another stop, though. Yeah, he just ran a wheel route and got behind the backer and down the near sideline, inside the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. So now they say unsportsmanlike conduct on Penn State. On what? What'd he do? He threw the ball celebrating into the camera. I mean, all right, Dragon Ball Z, but come on. So now that's going to be assessed on the kickoff. Extra points, good. Now, if they would have, remember, kicked it before halftime, you'd have another 3 points. You're going to be down 10 still at 2 scores. 27-17, but you're still down 2 scores at 27-14, being down 13. So, update some stats. 27-14 is your score, 11:28 to go in this third quarter. A lot of football to be played. Aller now 10 of 12, 120 yards and a touchdown. That to Khalil Dinkins. Fat Man 6 of 42 in his rushing touchdown earlier. Singleton 5 of 24. Dinkins with 2 catches, 46 yards, and the 40-yard touchdown reception officially it goes for. Hudson with 3 catches, 40 yards. Reynolds has a catch for 17 yards, but then fumbled. But then, remember, UCLA missed the field goal, and then Penn State capitalized on it. So, I mean, take the fumble away, take the missed field goal away because they cancel each other out. Yeah, I get it's technically the second drive of the, third quarter here in the second half, but Penn State goes and drives and scores to be, here early third quarter. And they cut the lead, but they still got to keep chopping. They got to keep getting stops on defense and find a way back, into this game. Rapia had a catch on that drive. He now has 2 for 14. Pena and Ross nowhere to be found. Maybe as this game progresses, they'll show up, but I don't know. And then obviously Barker now 2 for 2 on his extra points, but 27-14 your score. Final score last year in this game was Penn State 27, UCLA 11. And now it's completely flipped, plus a couple, but still just frustrating. I mean, they do it to themselves. So back from break here. So I'll take a look at the Big Ten Conference. 6 teams in the top 25, 4 in the top 10. That includes Penn State. Yeah, they did what they had to do there, but they still need defensive stops. So Gabe Owusu wanted to kick it away. After the penalty, it's going to be fielded on the return. And then, boom, big hit at the 25. So they still start off at the 25-yard line here anyway. So that penalty didn't really matter. But holdings, I mean, they got to call it down the middle, man. So 1st and 10, ball at 25. Handoff and a spin and a first down run for about 12. Come on, guys. Like, what the fuck? And they'll run it again. Tackle for loss. Campbell, Wheatley. Yep. Steve Jones, Jack Ham on the call for Penn State Radio. Penn State is linebacker U. Campbell's been playing his ass off this year for sure. Missing Tony Rojas today. Dom DeLuca playing well, obviously battling injury in today's game, but he's out there, so come on, defense, let's get a stop. 2nd and 10. Tight end in motion. That's a hold. That is a hold. Oh, my God. Nico going to step up and run, and guess what? Gets a first down. You're going to call a holding. You better call it down the fucking middle. You're calling holding against Penn State, but you're not against UCLA. Watch the fucking left tackle again. How is that not holding? And of course, they show the highlight, the replay of it up close and personal. And there's still no penalty for it. But it is what it is. You got to fucking play through it. But still, it's like, call it down the fucking middle. Hand off. And they get to midfield. 2nd down coming up. Second and 8 from the 50. And pressure, and down he goes on the sack. And guess who? Amari Campbell. Making a name for himself.